Hey, welcome back to today's morning report on Tuesday the 26th of May with me, Richard Pro Market Analyst at Hansack Markets. Moving on to cable now, and cable pretty much alongside all of the dollar pairs at the moment is having a negative move, and we've seen this breakdown and the sort of configuration on the moving averages and configuration on the momentum indicators before on that Euro chart and also the Aussie chart as well. This sort of consistent falling over of the RSI, Stochastics, MACD lines. I think cable is not as bad as the others though. It's interesting that cable hasn't yet broken below that early March low. Also similar sort of on the stochastics, although they are beginning to now accelerate lower. So it is also interesting, I think, that cable is sort of forming support around that old sort of 53.90 area. I mean, today's low was 53.80 or 53.82 on this chart, but say 53.80. But in terms of the reaction low that we've had today, that's sort of formed a bit of a low and started to find a bit of support. However, you would say that having broken now below that 54.45 key reaction low and now seemingly left a high at 57 figure, it sort of seems as though we're now building a sequence of lower highs and lower lows potentially in this recent run sort of over the last couple of weeks, and that is obviously not positive in any way at all. This is the hourly chart and it shows you in more detail that 54.45 key low, and then we've obviously broken below that. But this is interesting, as I said, this sort of area of support around sort of 54 figures, a slight move below it today, but still you'd say that's probably actually still intact. And you've got a spike low at 53.53 as well, but maybe that there is the prospect of a near-term rally on cable, but it would probably be a rally that would be sold into, because you've got a fair amount of resistance now around this sort of breakdown level, sort of 54.45 up towards sort of 55 area in terms of resistance. So it just seems as though that sort of a rally is likely to now be sold into, because you've got some fairly negative momentum indicators on the hourly chart as well. Moving averages all falling in bearish sequence, and as I said, this overhead supply now in between sort of 54.45 towards 55 figure area. So lots of sellers probably waiting around that sort of area to take their opportunity. And if that is to be the case, then this little minor rally that we get on the that we're getting in near term could well give us that chance. You got the RSI that sort of falls over around the 50 point now, having sort of been supported around that. Is sort of now finding resistance around that level. So 50 around that 50 point on the RSI, that would be ideal in terms of selling areas. Yeah, I think a rally today would be a chance to sell, so we'll probably watch out for that. Maybe around the data releases, but still I think it would be giving you a chance to sell, because it certainly looks as though the dollar is on this strong run now, and it looks like it's going to be continuing. In terms of downside, it's a difficult one actually, because you haven't really got any I talked about that sort of that spike low support 53.53, but until then you're sort of back at that sort of minor pivot level around 52.90. Again, that sort of level there, but then you're not really seeing too much support. Obviously the big support comes in around that 50.88 key reaction low that we saw, which is the big May low. But it certainly looks as though there is the prospect of further downside if this run continues, which I think it will do now. So I wish you good luck in your trading on cable, and I will speak to you later.